Hey guys, it's Allie, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about more retired dolls that I never really plan to own in my collection. Of course, this might change if I find a doll for like $5 at a thrift store or whatever, so like don't hold a knife to my head if I end up changing what's said in this video, but as of now, these are dolls I don't want. I've made a video like this a few months ago, but I didn't talk about any Truly Me dolls, and with the big Truly Me revamp and a bunch of the existing Truly Me dolls being retired, I figured now is the perfect time to talk about those retired Truly Me dolls that I don't really plan on owning in my collection and why I don't plan on owning them in my collection. You know that there's been a shift in the Truly Me line when even American Girl Wiki had to make a second page of their visual guide to Truly Me dolls with just the new Truly Me dolls. End of an era, but I'm still going to be consulting that original list while I'm making this video because I've been on that page so many times. Anyways, let's get into it. We're gonna get all of the blonde hair, blue-eyed dolls out of the way because it's a similar reason for why I don't really plan on owning them in my collection. So the dolls I'm going to talk about include 27, 63, 51, 53, and 3. These are all basic, classic mold blonde dolls. They don't all have blue eyes, but they all just look very similar to each other. Some of these dolls get more hate than others online, like 27 for example. Oh, and 22, I forgot to say 22. All of those basic blonde ones pretty much. If I owned 27, even though she is a great doll, she is people's lookalikes. She's just like very much hated and memed more than other Truly Me dolls. So if I'm like, oh my god, 27's my favorite doll, you guys are gonna be judging me. I know that for a fact. I also have a few blonde dolls in my collection already. Julie, who I don't really use, my Lainey doll, and then I also own Amelie, who is my Caroline, and Amelie is one of my older dolls, meaning that she actually has a personality, and she would not be happy that she already has to battle a few different blondes in my collection. She does not need any more blonde siblings to be arguing with over who is the superior blonde. That's just my doll's personality. I also have 83 in my collection for blonde dolls too, but I feel like she looks so different than the other ones because of her wig. So yeah, I think I'm good with blonde dolls in my collection for now. You know, if I find one for like $5 at a thrift store, or if I'm suddenly like, I'm gonna collect all the Truly Me dolls, then that might change, but for now, I do not plan on getting these dolls in my collection. The next group of dolls you should know that I'm not a big fan of if you've watched my channel, and I feel like a broken record player talking about these dolls, but the Street Chic dolls slash the other ones in the late 80s with the colored hair are dolls I don't plan on putting in my collection. I know some of these ones are still available on the American Girl website, or at least in store showing like limited quantities, but they're pretty much retired. They're retiring all of the old Truly Me dolls. I'm really surprised they didn't put the Street Chic dolls into the new Truly Me line though. I am not a giant fan of colored hair on my dolls. Maybe something like a wig with natural highlights would be fine. I do have Corinne Tan, but her blue hair can be hidden very easily, and I really like her face mold. But a doll with really, really bright in your face colored hair is just not my style. I prefer just natural hair colors on my dolls, and a lot of American Girl's colored hair wigs I'm just not the biggest fan of. I would be down maybe for something with like a slight ombre at the end, but I just don't see myself getting any of these dolls in my collection. They also just look very childish to me. If you're like an adult and you love to have bright pink hair, you do you, but I feel like a lot of these color combinations are very wild and childlike to me. So trying to make a doll with, you know, bright pink hair be like a 20-year-old American Girl doll, because I do make my dolls adults, I just can't see that happening for me. I saw a post the other day on a confession account on Instagram being like, I find it weird that people make their American Girl dolls like 19 years old. They specifically said 19. They should be kids. And I'm like, okay, so I'm 19 and my mini me is supposed to be 12. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I do make my dolls older. If you have a problem with that, I'm sorry, but I've just always, even when I was a kid and got my first doll, I always saw my dolls as adults attending university, Interstar University. So that is just my dolls in my collection. They don't really age anymore. They're just like college adult girls. I don't know. And boys, they have a boy doll too. Next is number 68. 68 is a really cute doll. I know there is a version of her with lashes and the Truly Me rebrand, but we're talking about original 68 here because she's retired. And the reason I won't get her is that I think she's way too similar to one of my dolls I already have in my collection, and that is 59. My original doll, the one who started it all. They have very similar wigs, same eyes, same skin tone, just a different face mold. And you could even argue that 68 looks similar similar to Joss, who I also own in my collection. I don't have any problems with this doll. I've seen her in person. She's cute. She just would not be diverse enough in my collection. Next is number 60, another doll that I think is really pretty. Light skin, black hair, blue eyes is unique for American Girl. However, within my collection, I feel like she looks too similar to 25 because she's pretty much 25 with blue eyes. I don't see 60 that much on social media either. So I think she's a cute doll. I don't have any problems with her. It's just within my collection. I already have Victoria and I feel like they're too similar. Next is 57. 57 is a nostalgic doll for me because she came out around the same time as my first doll, so I feel like I always saw her in catalogs, and there's definitely some accounts that own this doll on AGJitters, and she is a cute doll. I just don't see her in my collection. I love styling doll hair and doing things like braids, and when you have a doll with really short hair, it's hard to do hairstyles on her. Of course, I do have a few other dolls in my collection with somewhat short hair like 62, or even dolls with really curly hair that I try not to touch and style, but her hair is so short that there's just no appeal in it for me. She also has the same face mold, eyes, and hair color as 59, so she's not super unique. And just in general, 57 has always struck me as a very young looking doll, kind of like the colored hair ones, and there's a few other ones I could talk about, but I just feel like I cannot see her as an adult. Maybe it's the haircut. I just feel like a lot of adults don't really have a super short bob like that, at least not in the 21st century. 1920, sure, she could be Claudie's friend, but I just do not see her in my collection. Maybe I do need to look up the hashtag 57 on Instagram and see some photos to make me want her more, but for now, she does not really fit in my collection and I don't want her. Next is 47. This is a doll that I used to really love, but after thinking about it, I don't think I really want her anymore. She might have been in an old wishlist video or something, but I think I've removed her. 47 used to be a doll that was super up on my wish list because she's a Sonali mold, which is my favorite face mold, and she was like the Truly Me line equivalent to Sonali, just with a different wig. But because I do love her face mold so much, I own a few Sonalis in my collection, such as Gabriella, 62, Melody, and I would love to have a million Sonalis in my collection, but I do have to, you know, get some other face molds, switch it up. And 47's wig is very similar to 25's, and I feel like she's a very popular doll, which means that I feel like having her in my collection, she just wouldn't be as unique. So I mean, this is like probably on this list one of the dolls I am more likely to get. If I found a cheap 47, I would not be opposed to getting her, but I feel like she just wouldn't be super unique in my collection, and there's dolls that I would rather get on my list than 47. 41 is a similar story to 47. It's another doll that I really wanted. She probably was on some wishlist videos, but now I have Ruthie. I've had her for, was it 1 or 2 years? I don't remember. And 41 is pretty much Ruthie with different eyes. So even though she's a really cute doll, I just feel like they're way too similar. I could make them sisters, which would be really adorable, but I just don't see myself getting her. Next is number 6. Yes, it's another blonde doll, so I could have lumped her in with the other ones, but the specific reason I don't really like number 6 is because of her Felicity eyes, and this is gonna be controversial. You either love Felicity's laser green eyes or you hate them, and I wouldn't necessarily call myself a hater, but I just don't think they're my favorite. Maybe I need to see them in person, but for me they're like so unnaturally green that they're kind of creepy. I say that when my dolls watch me sleep every single night. She's definitely valuable because she's one of the older Truly Me dolls, but she's not for me. And honestly, I'm so bad with the numbers of the old Truly Me dolls that even if I stumbled upon a good deal for this doll, I wouldn't realize how valuable this doll is. I would just think it's another one of the blonde banged girls. So yeah, her eyes are not my favorite. And then of course, everything that I said earlier. The last retired Truly Me that I will never get is number 46 because I have Gabriella. It's the same doll. I want to end this video on a joke because why not? I do own 46, but like the Gabriella version of her. I think she's a really cute doll. She's a Sonali mold. So if I did find, you know, an original 46, I would not get her because I own Sonali. So not Sonali. I don't own Sonali. I wouldn't get her because I own Gabriella. I mean, that's a simple and quite obvious explanation. I just wanted to be funny and end this video with a bang. Anyways, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if there's any Truly Me dolls that are retired that you don't want to get, even if, you know, they're super valuable or whatever. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more American Girl doll videos, and have an amazing day, and I will see you all soon. Bye!